is Brenda, and my partners Maha and Abby and I will be addressing the question 4 for integument.
To begin, we'll be talking about the structure and the function of different skin glands. The first gland that we'll be talking about is the sebaceous gland, also known as oil glands. The structure of these glands are simple, branched, rounded glands and are connected to hair follicles. Now, the function is to produce and secrete sebum. Sebum lubricates the skin to protect against friction and makes it more impervious to moisture. The next type of skin glands we'll be talking about are sudoriferous glands, also known as sweat glands in the body. They release sweat or perspiration into hair follicles or onto the skin surface through pores. Sweat glands are divided into two main types based on their structure and type of secretion. The first type is eccrine glands. The structure is simple, coiled tubular glands and opens on the skin surface. The main function of eccrine glands is thermoregulation, which plays a role in hyperhidrosis and hypohidrosis. The sweat produced by eccrine glands also plays a small role in eliminating wastes like urea, uric acid, and ammonia from the body. These glands also release a sweat response to emotional stress, such as fear or embarrassment, which is also referred to as emotional sweating or cold sweat. Now, the second type of skin gland is apocrine. The structure is coiled tubular glands, but have larger ducts from lumen than eccrine glands. It opens into the upper part of the follicular canal and a secretory coil with a wide lumen. Now let's talk about the function. Apocrine glands do not begin to function until puberty. They are more functioned as a scent gland. Predominantly, they produce no odor, but when it interacts with bacteria on the surface of the skin, the bacteria metabolizes its components and apocrine sweat produces a musky odor. Finally, let's discuss ceruminous glands, also known as sweat glands in the external ear. The structure is simple coiled tubular glands. It functions to protect areas from dehydration by producing earwax or cerumen. The earwax restricts dirt, dust, and other foreign bodies from entering the ear canal or drum. Now back to you, Brenda.
So, more about sebaceous glands. They are mainly found in the lips and tarsal glands, and for males in the head of the penis, and for females the labia minora. Sometimes it is also found in the trunk and limbs portions of the body. The integument layer which they are found in is the dermis. The part that secretes is in the dermis too and usually opens up to a hair follicle. However, in the lips, head of the penis, labia minora, and the tarsal glands, the opening is at the skin's surface. Now, I want to break down sudoriferous glands into two, starting with eccrine glands. They can be found almost everywhere in the body, but are highly focused in the forehead, palms of the hands, and soles of the feet. These glands are found mostly in the reticular dermis and at times breaches the upper layers of subcutaneous tissue, but the opening is a pore at the epidermis surface. Now on to the other half. Apocrine glands are located in many places, being the armpit skin, groin, areolae, and in males, the area which facial hair is grown. Like eccrine glands, apocrine is also found in the reticular dermis and sometimes upper subcutaneous tissue, but unlike eccrine glands, apocrine glands open up to a hair follicle. So lastly are the ceruminous glands, which are found in the outside part of your ear, and it's found in the subcutaneous layer, but also opens up to sebaceous glands, or just onto the surface of the ear canal.
So I will be talking about each skin gland's secretion. Sebaceous glands secrete sebum. It is an oily substance made up of triglycerides, cholesterol, proteins, and inorganic salts. Sebum coats the surface of the hairs and keeps them from drying and becoming brittle. It can also stop too much water from evaporating from the skin, and this keeps the skin soft and pliable and stops from bacteria, some of them, but not all, from growing. So for example, acne is an inflammation of the sebaceous glands that usually begins at puberty. Most of the time, it happens in sebaceous follicles that have been taken over by bacteria, some of which thrive in the lipid-rich sebum. Next, we have pseudoferous glands that are comprised of eccrine and apocrine sweat glands. The sweat produced by eccrine glands consists primarily of water with small amounts of ions like sodium and chloride, urea, uric acid, ammonia, amino acids, glucose, and lactic acid. Recent studies, however, have shown that eccrine sweat glands secrete antimicrobial peptides like demcidin, cathelicidin, and lactoferrin, which help control skin flora and fight skin infections. On the other hand, the secretory portion of apocrine sweat glands gets rid of waste through perspiration, which has the same parts as eccrine sweat glands, plus lipids and proteins. Apocrine sweat glands, along with eccrine sweat glands, are active during emotional sweating. However, apocrine sweat glands secrete during sexual activity and arousal. And lastly, ceruminous glands. The combined secretion of the ceruminous and sebaceous glands is a yellowish material called cerumen, also known as earwax. When cerumen and hairs in the external acoustic metis stick together, they make a sticky barrier that keeps bugs and other foreign objects from getting in. It also keeps bacteria and fungi from getting into the cells and keeps the metis from getting wet. In conclusion, we have discussed the three major types of skin glands, examining their anatomy, function, location, and secretion. And now, you'll have a deeper understanding of how these skin glands work in the human body. Thanks for listening.